Hey folks, Dale Davidson here, the Dear VA Guy. Glad you're here. Hey, got this video today and it's about special VA benefits for disabled veterans. We're going to talk about some of these special assistance available to disabled veterans who are already receiving VA compensation. Now, there are certain circumstances, limited, where non-service connected disabilities can qualify for these special benefits too. I'm going to talk about three main topics, but they are not exhaustive whatsoever. Okay. Now, the VA regulations and publications, you can always Google them to see what's available. So let's talk about automobiles and adaptive equipment. If you suffer from serious service-connected disabilities for which you are entitled to receive VA compensation benefits. In fact, you're receiving VA compensation benefits. The VA can pay benefits towards the purchase price of a new or used automobile or other mode of transportation. In other appropriate cases, if you're a disabled veteran, you may be entitled to special equipment to adapt to your automobile to accommodate your disability. Now, you've seen probably driving around individuals with these electric carts on the back of their vehicles, or you've seen where in a handicapped spot you've got a van with a special lift. That's what we're talking about. So to be eligible for these benefits, the disability or disabilities must consist of one of the following, okay? You got to have a loss or permanent loss of one or use of both feet, the loss or permanent loss of both hands, permanent impairment of vision in both eyes, maybe you had a burn injury, loss of one or both knees or hips, or you may have ALS. Basically, you're not able to ambulate. You're having to navigate and transport yourself or ambulate with a cane, a walker, wheelchair. Okay. Now, adaptive equipment can be provided when the VA finds it necessary to assist you in meeting your standards of driving. Maybe you have to adapt your vehicle in order to get a license. Maybe you don't have the ability to use your legs. So in order to drive the vehicle, you got to have a accelerator somewhere, so they put that accelerator on the steering column. That can happen in order to help you be more mobile and live a normal life, okay? But again, the VA is all about safety, and we'll talk about like that. So adaptive equipment under these provisions, they include automobile transmissions, power steering, power brakes, power windows, power seats, special equipment necessary to assist you in or out of the vehicle, non-articulating trailers that are designed to transport powered wheelchairs, powered scooters, and other similar mobility devices. Okay. These types of adaptive equipment may also encompass air conditioning when this type of equipment is necessary for the health and maintenance of the veteran. And I'm telling you what, you can't live in the South without air conditioning. That's got to be, that is a health and safety thing that you really got to have. And I don't know if they have any kind of, I don't know if they even sell vehicles without air conditioning nowadays. If you're in a wheelchair, for instance, or you have difficulty navigating the inside of your vehicle, the VA can assist you with getting adaptive equipment to include modifying the size of the interior for your physical comfort. This goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. The VA will not allow adaptive equipment for disabled veterans to drive if they're blind. You can't get it, all right? I know that's a stupid rule, but it's a rule, so I thought I would share it with you. Okay, if you're legally blind, they will not provide any kind of adaptive equipment to be installed on your vehicle in order for you to drive. It's a safety thing, okay? So the VA's approval of adaptive equipment is based upon your disability and driving limitations, okay? As well as your ability to really operate the vehicle safely, okay? So I know there are a lot of companies out there that do this, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. It's a National Mobility Equipment Dealers Association, NMDA, nmeda.org. You can get a list of people in your area. But I'm jumping ahead. So a specific application for automobiles, adaptive equipment, is required by the VA. So they're going to want to know your disability, what are your specific limitations, and what is safe for you. What happens though if you've purchased all of those things beforehand? Can you get reimbursed? And the answer is yeah, you can get reimbursed. But you still have to show the need in making sure that it's safe. Entitlement to this equipment is limited to, you can't just have a fleet of automobiles or a fleet of vans, okay? You have this adaptive equipment on no more than 2 automobiles in a 4-year period of time. Now, there are exceptions to every rule. If that automobile or van or whatever it is not accessible or available to you, it's not available to you within a 4-year period due to circumstances beyond your control. Maybe it was burned up. Maybe it was stolen. There was an accident, court action, or the cost to repair it were just, prohibitively expensive. I had a lady today who, her van, they wanted $7,000. So we're looking into this program for her. Instead of having her van repaired, we can just get some more funds for her to adapt a different vehicle. So I talked about NMDA. This is the National Mobility Equipment Dealers Association, nmeda.org. Okay, so look, Google them, and then you can find adaptive equipment companies in your area. So enough about automobiles and adaptive equipment. Let's talk about clothing allowance, because a lot of people don't realize this. If you're a disabled veteran, there's a clothing allowance that you can receive if your service-connected disability requires wearing a prosthetic or orthopedic device, okay, that wears out your clothing. For instance, if you have an artificial arm, artificial leg, those kinds of things, if you got that, you are allowed to have a clothing allowance. And the clothing allowance is paid to you annually, and it continues for your lifetime. So long as you're wearing that prosthetic or orthopedic device, that clothing allowance comes to you. The clothing allowance is also available to veterans who must use a physician-prescribed medication that irreparably damages the outer garments. Okay, don't know what that physician-prescribed medicine would be, but if you have that and your outer garments are being worn out because of your disability, you would qualify for the clothing allowance. Now, it goes without saying that if you have some kind of malpractice claim and you are successful with this malpractice claim against the VA, then because of your disability, you are entitled to the clothing allowance. Okay, clothing allowances are paid in a lump sum once per year. Let's talk a little bit about specially adaptive housing and special home adaptation grants, because that has the potential to really make some life changes to you if you qualify, to get your house where it needs to be to accommodate you. Again, veterans and active duty service members are entitled to compensation for certain severe disabilities, and so they can receive grants to pay for specially adapted housing to accommodate their disabilities. You've seen the ads on TV for the disabled veterans, or tunnels for towers, or whatever it may be, where they built these houses and they've brought down the countertops and the stove tops and everything because the veteran or the first responder was in a wheelchair. This is the same kind of, this is what we're talking about. There are two kinds of benefits, two kinds of grants, okay? Now, first is a specially adapted housing. They call it SAH. That grant provides money for you if you're severely disabled to assist you in purchasing a home which is specially adapted to your disability. So, for instance, if you're in a wheelchair, the house is built such that the countertops are lower. In the kitchen, the bathroom, you have a roll-in shower. Your doors are wider to accommodate your mobility throughout your home. That's SAH, Specially Adapted Housing. The second grant is the Special Home Adaptation, the SHA. That provides money to you if you are already in a house and you're a disabled veteran and you're trying to make some changes to your home to help you with your mobility and your living in your home. There's the home purchase or the home improvement, okay? So, for instance, this year, to purchase a home, the grant is about $117,000. To adapt your home or improve your home, you can get up to about $23,000 a one-time grant. So let's go over this again. So veterans who are entitled to the home purchase have got to have service-connected benefits because of a permanent and total loss or use of loss of both lower extremities. You can't walk without a wheelchair, a brace, crutches, canes, whatever it may be, okay? If you're blind, if you are permanently disabled due to loss of use of your lower extremities together with residuals, you're entitled to this home purchase, okay? Permanent disability due to the loss of use of both arms, you could qualify. Or if you have ALS. The house purchase benefit, the SAH, are available to you if you served in the armed forces on or after September 11, 2001 and have a permanent service-connected disability that was incurred after September 11, 2001. Think about this as far as the disability. You're in a wheelchair, or your mobility and your abilities to live in a home are limited because of your disabilities. If you're in a home and both of your arms are prosthetic arms, you can't lift up to pull things off the shelf, right? Or lift up very high. Likewise, if you are in a wheelchair, you may not be able to stand up to grab things. So they move everything down lower. Kitchen sink, your stove, all of those things are lower in order to accommodate your disabilities. Now, veterans who have a total disability rating based on TDIU and whose disabilities meet the conditions that we just discussed are also entitled to the home purchase benefits or the home improvement benefit. So let's talk a little bit about the home improvement benefit. Now, home improvement, again, that's that $23,000 this year. Maybe you have to increase the width of your bathroom door because you're in a wheelchair. Here in Thomasville, we had a gentleman that we got this benefit for, and they were able to come in and increase this door size and do some reconfiguring of his bathroom so he could get in there, get on the potty, and then roll his wheelchair into the shower. So it's a great benefit. Again, with respect to home improvement versus home purchase, you've got that same eligibility requirements. Disability, a total and permanent disability. Your legs, arms, you're blind, you have ALS. It's got to be total and permanent service-connected disability. Likewise, if you were injured by the VA in some kind of malpractice claim, then you would also qualify again, but you've got to have that permanent and total disability rating. I caution you about the home improvement part because grant, because if you apply for the home improvement grant but you've already made those improvements, you're not necessarily going to get reimbursed. Okay, apply for the grant first, okay, and then you can contract for the services. Okay, that's what we had to do with this gentleman here in Thomasville. And there's actually two separate applications. There's a VA form 26455 and a 26455C. So there's two applications you've got to make to the VA. You're going to have to send in pictures. You have to send in the bid amount from the contractor doing the work, and know that it's got to be licensed contractors. It can't be any of these fly-by-night guys. Okay, look, all of these benefits, the home purchase and the home improvement, are all designed to help the total and permanent disabled veteran, which is you, live a better life. Hey folks, thank you for tuning in today. I hope I gave you some good information on some VA benefits that you may not have known were out there. I've got this other video called 24 VA benefits you should be receiving. Hey, go check that out. And until next time, you have a blessed day.